Go. Hi, it's Susan from Mindful Life Coaching. We're talking about the art of gratitude. And when I was doing the research and preparing, this phrase came up, the art of gratitude. And I really felt it really landed with me because, of course, all our practices lead us to that. But sometimes there's a struggle if we're sick, as several of us have been, if we've got, like I had this acute knee injury where I'm in a merge and having to deal with it right after surgery. So things come to us in waves where we need to deal with sometimes quite intense things. And so how do we continue to practice that without going into some kind of fantasy and la la land where it's just like, oh, all is great, all is fabulous, instead actually sitting in, what is it that I can be with this and be in gratitude while still feel the sorrow. I think that is part of the art. And I looked over what we did last year and the year before, and you might remember that we looked at Christina Kott's TED Talk. So she was a psychologist in the positive psychology stream, which, as you know, has its own university and lots of research around it. And so she did this TED Talks because she got a brain tumor. I can send the link again to you if you want.
Please.
She talked about, you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. So she talked about focusing on gratitude in her body, focusing on gratitude for the surgeons who kind of pulled that out, her brain tumor out. She looked at the neurological levels around when we practice gratitude, how we have a decrease in depression, positive impact, prefrontal cortex, changes the neurotransmitter, helps us manage our circumstances. So there's all these positive outcomes we know. And she kind of had, 8 steps that we shared last year. And most of us, I think, do them. It kind of felt like, when I was researching, there was from gratitude, from gloom to gratitude. And that felt like 101, right? It was kind of a not trite, but a 2-minute thing about just practice gratitude and feel good too. And it felt like Christine was 201, right? Like she'd had a major life-threatening illness. She was already well trained in positive psychology. So she made the shift. And then I discovered this year, David Stendal Rost on being grateful. So I'm going to use his, and I can send you the link. And his TED Talks is called Want to Be Happy, Be Grateful. And I also, I'm going to share a few minutes of a video by Louise Schwartzberg. And I've shared it with you before, and he also talks about beauty and nature. You might or might not remember that he, as a young man in California, he just went out and like 50 years ago and went out and took a whole bunch of photos of nature. So I'm just going to show you a brief clip of that, and then we'll do a practice. No, then we're going to come back to our own gratitude, what we need and where we're at with that. And then we'll go ahead and do a practice. And I have a poem at the end.